It's not so unusual hereabouts for sisters to keep house for a grown-up brother. We'd been together practically all our lives. Oh yes, we had our differences. I'm the practical one, probably because I'm the oldest. I've always done the looking after. I was the first to learn the art of hospitality from Ma, bless her. And Lazarus, what would we do without him? He'd looked after us both. Life's so very hard for women on their own, you know. Yeah, naturally some do work, handicrafts or market trading mainly. But all a girl's education is directed towards becoming someone's wife or someone's mother. It's just accepted. Housekeeping, that's usually a wife's duty. And Mary, whose heart always rules ahead, well, I'd had to mother her often enough. When Lassie took sick and died, even more so. And got me an extra duty, chief mourner. We didn't know. When he finally made it to Bethany, one of them let it slip when Jesus came back later. He hadn't simply dropped exactly what he was doing, Jesus, when he heard Lassie was so ill. Too right, I was surprised. Put out even. I thought he loved us, we three, and how we were together. Except what he did then proved me right. I did understand the delay. It was risky. Doubt that would have put him off. No, it was for impact. Nobody could deny Lassie had been dead. We sent an urgent message, of course, but Lassie was 4 days buried when someone came to say Jesus were on his way. I made Mary stay with the house guests. Now I was senior partner, she must mind the guests for once. I'd been doing okay. But the minute I clapped eyes on him, I remembered his last visit with us. I'd had so much to do. And there's Mary at his feet, hanging on his every word. And Lassie, starts to sob. If you'd been here, he wouldn't have died. I know, sounds like I was blaming him, but his healing powers made him a legend. It was all over the district about a man who couldn't see till Jesus, even out here in Bethany. Thing is, 3 were never a crowd with us, more a magic number. Inseparable we were, united household, each with our particular gifts. Complementary like. I was the mother, strong, sensible, the overseer. Lassie, the only son, kind, intelligent, creative. Mr. Fix-It, truly good person. And Mary, the bright spark, the motivator, the dreamer. We just belonged together. We couldn't bear the thought of life without him. Everything just felt unreal. Jesus, I still believed that God would hear him if only he were to ask, despite him getting there too late. The prophet Ezekiel's dry bones were far longer gone. Jesus asked me if I believed dead people could rise again. I didn't stop to think if he meant like here and now. I was far too upset. But when I said yes at the end of time, his reply was puzzling. That he was the resurrection and the life. Whoever believed in him would never die. I felt flustered when he'd asked if I believed that, but as I looked at his face, that was a proper mess by now. It was a bit blurry. But that was the easiest of questions to ask. I just knew that he was the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who was to come. That was exactly what I did think. If he said believers wouldn't die, they wouldn't. But Lassie's soul, past the point of no return by now, surely. As we got to the house, I said I'd bring Mary out, hoping no one would notice, so we could just go to the graveyard by ourselves. But all you need's one busybody cousin who just can't bear to miss anything, and the whole blooming lot must now come with us. Good cry at the grave, my dear, that'll do us all the power of good. Mary, fell to her knees when she saw Jesus. Drama queen. But she said exactly what I had, how Lazzy would still have been alive. Jesus was proper upset himself then, and everyone saw it. They were still muttering that the blind man's healer could surely have done more than just cry. We went then to the tomb, sort of cave with a rock sealing it, and Jesus said, "Open it." I tried to stop him. Corpses smell awful, you know, and touching them, well, that defiles you. But ignoring me, he signalled to the menfolk to go ahead. I pulled my headscarf up over my nose like a mask. It reminded me then I'd only to believe if I wanted to see God's glory. And then he prays aloud to his Father, and he shouts, "Lazarus, come out!" And there he was, complete with linen wrappings, stepping out into the sunlight. Dead man, walking. Not. Jesus told them to unwrap him. We couldn't wait. We ran, we touched, we embraced him, pulling the cloth away from his sleepy face, our tears turning to tears of joy, relief, gratitude, shock, everything, feeling his breath, his heart beating as we hugged him. We didn't notice at first how the others were hanging back. Was that Lazzy's ghost? There was a tense, fearful silence. Even Jesus' friends didn't know what to do or say. What is the etiquette when someone stops being dead? When Jesus came for dinner a few days later, Mary, always an impulsive, extravagant one, poured her very best perfume over Jesus' feet. How could we ever thank him? Who knew then? Who knew that another tomb would soon become just as unnecessary? That Jesus himself would be emerging into daylight? Who knew that he would be taken from us? A man who'd done nothing but good. Then, if he'd known Lazarus had died, and he reckoned that Mary was preparing him for his burial, I suppose Jesus did. He knew exactly what was coming. And our testing times had only just begun.